students. Today's topic is plant tissue culture. Plant tissue culture means growing plants, plant cells, tissues, protoplasts, or organs away from their natural or environmental condition under artificial is known as a plant tissue culture. It was also known as in vitro culture. So the technique plant tissue culture was first proposed by Haberland. The German botanist proposed the concept totipotency, and he was also the first person to culture the plant cell in artificial condition using the mesophyll cells of Lamnum purpureum in culture media and obtain cell proliferation. So he is regarded as the father of tissue culture. First, plant tissue culture. Plant tissue culture is used to describe the in vitro, that means within the laboratory under aseptic. This is free condition of any plant part on a tissue culture medium, means this is said to be a plant tissue culture. This technique is based on the three fundamental principles. One is the plant part or explant must be selected and isolated from the rest of the plant body. Explant is the tissue or a protoplast or a organ which is used to culture in a medium. The explant must be maintained in a controlled physical, that is environmental, and chemically defined nutrient medium condition. The next, sterilization methods. The sterilization means to get rid of microbes such as bacteria and fungus in the culture medium, vessel, and explant is called as a sterilization. First, maintenance of aseptic environment. During in vitro tissue culture, maintenance of aseptic environmental condition should be followed. That is, sterilization of glasswares, forceps, scalpels, and all accessories in a wet stream sterilization by autoclaving. That is, autoclave is an instrument which is used to sterilize the tissue culture vessels and in the environments, and it 15 psi for 15 to 30 minutes or dipping in 70% alcohol, followed by flaming and cooling the sterilization of culture room. Before we are going to culture the any plant cell, the culture room should be clean. For floor and walls are washed first with the detergents and then with the 2% sodium hypochlorite or 95% ethanol. The cabinet of lamellar airflow chamber is also sterilized by working the work surface with 95% ethanol and the exposure of UV radiation for 15 minutes. The lamellar airflow chamber is a glass apparatus where the in vitro culture is done. Next, sterilization of nutrient media. Culture media are dispensed in glass containers plugged with non-absorbent cotton, that is the bottom of the glass vase were plugged by or closed by a non-absorbent cotton, or it may be sealed with a plastic sheet, and then sterilized using autoclave at 15 psi for 15 to 30 minutes. The plant extract, that is explant, vitamins, amino acids and hormones are sterilized by passing through millipore filters with 0.2 mm that pore size, and then added to sterilized culture medium inside the lamellar airflow chamber under aseptic condition, that is sterile condition. The next is the sterilization of explant. Explant is the material what we have to make the tissue culture. The plant materials to be used for tissue culture should be surface sterilized by first exposing the material in tap running water. First, the explant should be washed with your running water and then it is surface sterilized by the agents like 0.1% mercury chloride, 70% ethanol under aseptic condition inside the lamellar airflow chamber. The next is the media preparation. So the success of plant tissue culture lies in the composition of the growth media what we taken. The plant growth regulator and culture conditions such as temperature, pH, light and humidity. So for tissue culture, no single medium is capable of maintaining optimum growth of a plant tissue. A suitable nutrient medium as per the principles of the tissue culture is prepared and it is used for culture. There are different type of culture medias are there. One is MS nutrient media. It is most commonly used medium and it has carbon source with suitable vitamins and hormones which are essential for the growth of the tissue. The media formulation available for plant tissue culture other than the MS and or B5 medium, Gamberg medium, white medium, Nischet medium. A medium may be a solid or semi-solid or a liquid form. For solidifying the media, a gelling agent such as agar is added, which makes the medium very solid. The next pH. The pH of a medium is normally adjusted between 5.6 to 6 for the best result of the tissue culture. It may be in acidic condition. The temperature. The culture should be incubated normally at constant temperature of 25 degrees Celsius to plus or minus 2 degrees Celsius for the optimum growth of the tissue. And the humidity and also light intensity. The culture requires 50 to 60% of relative humidity and 16 hours of photo period by the illumination of cool white fluorescent tubes of approximately 1000 lux. The next is aeration, that is oxygen supply to the culture media can be provided by shaking the flask or a tubes of liquid media on an automatic shaker or aerated by the medium by passing with the filtered sterilized air. The next step is induction of callus. The explant, that is the tissue or a protoplasm which is taken for culture is up to 1 to 2 centimeters sterile. It has sizes 1 to 2 centimeter and should be sterile segment selected from the leaf or stem or tuberous or root is inoculated. Inoculation means the transfer of explant into the sterile glass tube containing nutrient media. MS media is most commonly taken with oxygen and auxins and incubated at 25 degrees Celsius to plus or minus 2 degrees Celsius in an alternate light and dark period of 12 hours to induce cell division. So to make the explant to cell divide, and soon the upper surface of the explant develop into a undifferentiated mass of cells called as a callus. In the in vitro culture, the next is the embryogenesis. The callus cells undergoes differentiation. It undergoes differentiation and produce stomatic embryos known as embryoids. The embryoids are subcultured to produce plantlets. So the embryoids which are formed from the culture medium is again subcultured to form a plantlets in plantlets. The next is the types of plant tissue culture. First step in the plant tissue culture is hardening. The plantlets developed in vitro culture required a hardening period, that is the transfer of explant into the in vitro to the greenhouse or normal environmental condition. Hardening is the gradual exposure of in vitro developed plantlets in humid chamber in diffused light for assimilation for further growth so as to enable them to grow under a normal environmental condition. The next is the types of plant tissue culture. Based on the types of explant taken for the tissue culture, the plant tissue cultures are classified into organ culture, meristem culture, protoplast culture and cell suspension culture. The first is a apical meristem culture. In apical meristem culture, the culture of any plant meristematic on a culture medium, that is apex region should be cultured in this. First, the older leaves are removed from a cutting or of coronation to cut in a side. Then this is the magnified view of a shoot tip after removing the larger leaves and shoot tips which growing tips after removing the closer leaves, enclosed leaves to produce the plantlets. The next is the protoplasmic culture. The protoplast are the cells without cell wall but bounded by a cell membrane or a plasma membrane. By using protoplast, it is possible to regenerate the whole plantlet. To regenerate the whole plantlet, first is a single cells and also develop a stromatic hybrids. The first steps involved is the isolation of protoplasm. A small bit of plant tissue like leaf tissue are used for isolation of protoplasm. The leaf tissue is immersed in 0.5% of macrosine and 2% of Onasuki cellulose enzymes. These two are used to dissolve the secondary voices in 13% sorbitol or mannitol at pH 5.4. Then it is incubated overnight at 25 degrees Celsius. After a gentle teasing of the cell, the protoplasts are obtained and these are then transferred to 20% sucrose solution to retain their viability, that is the vigor power. They are then centrifuged to get a pure protoplast as different from a deburs, that is based off the cell wall. The next is the fusion of protoplasm. It is done through the use of suitable fusogen, that is fusing agent. Most commonly used fusogen is the polyethylene glycol. The isolated protoplasts are incubated in 25 to 30% concentration of polyethylene glycol with calcium ions, and the protoplast shows agglutination, that is clumping may occur and fused with one another to form a fusion of protoplasm. The next, culture of protoplasm. The MS liquid media is used with some modification in the droplet plating or micro drop array techniques. Protoplast viability is tested with fluorescent diacetate, that is a fluorescent diacetate solution is used to test whether the protoplast is viable before the culture. The culture are incubated in continuous light of 10,000 to 2000 lux at 25 degrees Celsius. Next, the cell wall formation occurs within 24 to 48 hours and the first division of new cells occur between 2 to 7 days of culture. It requires 2 to 7 days after culture. The selection of stromatic hybrid cells. The fusion product of protoplasm without the nucleus of different cell is called as a hybrids. Only the cytoplasm get fused both the protoplasm except the nucleus is called as hybrid. The hybrid is followed by the fusion of nucleus of the two protoplasm, which is called as a nuclear fusion, which takes place between the hybrids. This process is called as a stromatic hybridization. For tissue culture, protoplasmic culture, the young plantlet is taken. From this young plantlet, a leaf is taken out, which is sterilized by tap water, and then it is the lower epidermis and the upper epidermis are peeled, and the peeled segments are plasmolized with the chemicals, and then it is kept in a cell mixture, and the cell wall is digested and release of protoplasm, then washing the protoplasm. The next step is a fusion of the protoplasm. After fused, it is cultured in the culture medium to form a callus tissue. The callus tissue is differentiated to form root and shoot to make the plantlets. Next type of plant tissue culture is cell suspension culture. The growing of cells, including the culture of single cells or a small aggregates of cells, a group of cells in an in vitro condition in a liquid medium is known as a cell suspension culture. The cell suspension culture is prepared by transferring a portion of a callus to the liquid medium and agitated using rotary shaker instrument. The cells are separated from the callus tissue and used for cell suspension. Here the cell suspension is prepared by transferring a portion of callus to the liquid medium and agitated using rotary shaker. By shaking using rotary shaker instrument, the cells are separated from the callus. Such a tissue is used for cell suspension culture. The next, production of secondary metabolites. Cell suspension culture can be useful for the production of secondary metabolites like alkaloids, flavonoids, terpenoids, phenolic compounds, and recombinant proteins. Secondary metabolites are chemical compounds that are not required by the plant for normal growth and development but are produced in the plant as a byproducts of a cell metabolism. For example, biosynthesis and isolation of indole alkaloids from Catharanthus roseus plant cell culture. The process of production of secondary metabolites can be scaled up and automated using bioreactors for commercial production. Many strategies such as biotransformation, elicitation, and immobilization have been used to make cell suspension culture more efficient in the production of secondary metabolites. For example, of industrial important plant, secondary metabolites are listed below in the table. Secondary metabolites, digoxin, the plant sources, digitalis purpurea. Function or uses are cardiac tonic. It is used to relieve the heart problems, cardiac tonic. Codenine, Papaver somniferum, it is an analgesic. Capsicum annulum, rheumatic pain treatment. Vincristine, Catharanthus roseus, anti-cancerogenic. It used to treat cancer disease. Quinine, Cinchona officinalis, it is used as an anti-malarial drug. So these are some of the secondary metabolites which are obtained from the plants and their uses. Plant regeneration pathway. From the explant, the plant can be regenerated by spermatic embryogenesis or organogenesis, the formation of organs from the callus. First explant, the explant is taken out from meristem, that is tip of the plant, or stemmatic apex, that is because the meristematic cells and the stemmatic apex are free from virus. The next nodal region, stem, the node, multiple shoot induction, micropropagation. From this, the root induction, plantlet formation takes place. The plantlets are transferred from in vitro to the normal environmental condition is called as a hardening, then transferred to the field. Leaf, root and callus, this indirect embryogenesis. From this callus, the shoot induction, root induction, plantlets, hardening and transfer to the field. The explant, direct embryogenesis. The direct embryogenesis forms embryoids. From this embryoids, the root and shoot development takes place. They are called as the plantlets. Then these plantlets are hardening. Hardening means in vitro to the normal, transfer to the field condition. So, plant regeneration. The next, stomatic embryogenesis. Stomatic embryogenesis is the formation of embryos from the callus tissue directly, and these embryos are called as the embryoids, or from the in vitro cells directly form pre-embryonic cells which differentiate into embryoids. Instead of forming root and shoot, the callus directly gives rise to embryos. Such embryos are called as stomatic embryoids or embryoids. Application of stomatic embryogenesis. It provides potential plantlets which after hardening period can establish into plants. Stomatic embryoids can be used for the production of synthetic seeds. Stomatic embryogenesis is now reported in many plants such as Allium sativum, Hordeum vulgaris, Oryza sativa, Z maize, and this possible in any plants. The stomatic embryogenesis is possible in not only in the monocot but also in the dicot plants. synthetic seeds are produced by encapsulation of embryos in agarose gel or calcium alkaligent. So that is the embryos which are formed from the callus or encapsulation by agarose gel or calcium alginate. Organogenesis. The morphological changes occur in the callus leads to the formation of shoot and root. Is called as a organogenesis. So organogenesis means instead of the callus forming embryos, here the root and shoot development takes place is called as a organogenesis. The callus is differentiated into shoots. It is called as a callogenesis, and the roots it's called as a rhizogenesis. So the callogenesis and the rhizogenesis formation takes place from the callus is called as a plantlet. The organogenesis can be induced in vitro within the laboratory by introducing plant growth regulators in the MS medium such as auxin and cytokinin induces root and shoot formation from the callus. The next application of plant tissue culture. The plant tissue culture have several applications such as improved hybrids production through stomatic hybridization. So the new variety of plants are produced through the stomatic hybridization. The stomatic embryos can be encapsulated into synthetic seeds. In some plants, the artificial seeds are have not so much viability. In such plants, the stomatic embryos can be encapsulated into synthetic seeds. This encapsulated seeds or synthetic seeds helps in the conservation of plant biodiversity, that it is used to produce the more number of species. Production of disease resistant plants through meristem and shoot tip culture, that is formation of a disease free plants can be obtained through meristem means shoot tip or root tip apex culture. Production of stress resistant plants like herbicide tolerant, heat tolerant plants. So herbicide tolerant plants and heat tolerant plants are produced by means of plant tissue culture. Micropropagation technique to obtain a large number of plantlets of both crops and tree species useful in forestry within a short span of time and all through the year. Production of secondary metabolites from cell culture utilization in pharmaceutical, cosmetic and food industries. That is the cell culture which is used to produce the more number of plants which are economically valuable in the industry, pharmaceutical industries and cosmetic industries and food industries. Somoclonal variation and gametoclonal variation. Somoclonal variation, stomatic variation found in plants regenerated in vitro, that is the variation found in leaf, stem, root, tuber or probigule, that is the variation which are shown in the leaf, stem, root, tubers are called as a somoclonal variation. Gametoclonal variation, gametophytic variation found in the plants regenerated in vitro gametic origin, that are variation found in gametes and gametophytes, gametes such as a sperm and egg, and also the plant gametophytes. Micropropagation of banana. Micropropagation of plants at industrial level maintain high standard of homogeneity in plants like pineapple, banana, strawberry and potatoes. So there are several steps involved in the micropropagation of banana. Micropropagation protocol for banana. First, the in vitro micropropagation of banana. The binomial of banana is a Musa paradisiaca, that is Musa species. Suckers surface sterilization with 1% NaOCl for 30 minutes. Then the sterilized leaf or any part of the plant is or apical meristem were isolated, cultured on MS basal medium, sublimated with benzyl aminopurine 10.0 milligram per liter, and indole acetic acid, that is growth media IAA 1.0 milligram per liter. The next, induction of shoots within 168 days. After that, the kinetin, that is cytokinin 2 milligram in 1 liter, and naphthalene acetic acid NAA, it is also a synthetic auxin 0.5 milligram per liter for root induction. Then assimilation in polyhouses, the transfer into a polyhouses, followed by shade house under 50% light for hardening process. Hardening means the stepwise manner of transferring the plantlets from the laboratory condition to the natural environmental condition. Then tested for genetic uniformity. Then finally the transfer to the field.